Hey guys, Darto97 again. This time with a review of the 144 scale high-grade Universal Century Döven Wolf, or Döven Wolf, or however you want to pronounce it, thanks to Bandai's quite unique way of spelling it. Fortunately, they didn't change the Japanese way of spelling it, which is still Döven Wolf. So enough about the name, and let's get on with the color scheme, because this is the unicorn version, and that means a hell of a lot of blue going on. So for the most part, we have a very light, kind of grayish blue. That's a very nice color. And then we also have a darker, well, this is actually more purple. It kind of comes off as blue on the camera, which might actually be a lot closer to what it should be, but believe me, this is more of a dark purple rather than a blue. Then we also have a, well, it's not really gray, it's gray with a little bit of a brownish tint to it for the usual gray we get, so it's for the hands, the joints, and all kinds of various details all over the Döven Wolf. And to wrap it all up, we also have some orange here for his megaparticle cannons in his abdomen, and all the other colors you see are stickers, because boy, we got a lot of them. As with all of the recent high-grade Universal Century kits, like it or love it, but let's face it, these are the stickers. Well, the colors here, they wouldn't have molded them on anyway, because they would just be way too small and too finicky to put plastic parts in that place anyway. So either we went with the stickers or we went without. So let's just be happy that they at least decided to include these stickers. Then what did we get? Like I said, a lot. These are the stickers for the sleeves trademark thingies. This is one, no, this is a sticker. 1, 2. Then we have 2 stickers that wrap around each arm. Then we have 1 sticker for each of the sides and a black one in the middle. Same goes for the other thruster. Oh no, wait, for the one on the other arm. Then that was off the arms. Then here, once again, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 in the middle, same thing going on here. So yeah, you're gonna have to apply a lot of stickers. Once again, same thing here, same thing over there, 5 stickers to make up the entire thing. But of course, it's a hell of a lot better than what they did with the Gym 3, where you had to kind of push it in there and try to wrap it all around while it was in there. It was an absolute nightmare to do that. This is a hell of a lot easier and also looks a lot better. And we have these 3 gray ones here. Yeah, this is one with multiple colors, so just 1 sticker here and there. And then, oh yeah, we have 1 on his shins, 1 here, 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 here. And that is about it for the mobile suit. Oh yeah, of course we get a mono eye and a black one inside there, and you know what that means, the mono eye is not going to be movable. Just have a black sticker behind and the mono eye that's sticked on there. But oddly enough, we do get 3 mono eyes. No, the Döven Wolf does not use 3 mono eyes, but this does seem to be a thing they're going with, because the Gabara Tetra which was released at around the same time, also comes with 3 mono eyes. So I guess they decided to give us 3 for in case that we wanted to change up the direction he was looking in, and well, you know, maybe the mono eye didn't want to stick anymore after that. So you do have a few spares, which is thoughtful to say the least, because they decided not to give us a moving mono eye. Yeah, and then we also have 1 more sticker that goes on his giant beam rifle / beam cannon. Oh, now we're going on to the articulation. The head goes a bit, ooh, man, that was not good. I'm not sure if you saw those antennas moving, but yeah, that's one thing you're gonna have to be careful about. No, the head goes up that far, down a little bit, and when you're careful and when you move all the stuff in the back enough out of the way, we'll also rotate around all the way, but just be careful of those antennas. But I gotta say, they look fantastic. even though they are extremely fragile. Like I already said, no moving mono-eye. The arms go a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, will move around all the way outwards. Well, this flap moves out, then it goes outwards like so. There's also a little ball joint that goes up and down, and then the hinge goes about that far. And the cool thing about these shoulders is they are like the master grades, because we have like a flap that sits between the arm and the actual chest, and then this is like on a hinge, so it goes up like that. And I wasn't expecting to ever see a joint like that in a high grade. And rotates around below the shoulder, moves at unfortunately just one joint, but we still get a nice 90 degrees. Hands are a ball joint, so we'll turn around, wiggle around, and do everything a ball joint does. Then we also have some waist articulation. It's on a ball joint, so it goes a little bit forwards, a little bit backwards, quite nicely side to side, and that was quite a big surprise. Wasn't expecting nearly as much articulation from the Döven wolf. We'll get to the backpack later on. Now going to the legs, and they did something very interesting with these. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to call them side scuds, but they are actually connected to the upper legs. They go forwards, really cool, really nicely, all the way forwards like that, all the way backwards like this. So he can actually do a grand écart, but the split is gonna be a little bit harder. Or was it the other way around? No, I'm no ballet expert, unfortunately. Then, oh yeah, these legs are not on ball joints, so there isn't really gonna be any turning from that joint, but we do get a turning joint below that. Then the knees are double jointed, but because of these side scuds, which don't really move at all, they seem to have a little bit of movement, but that's really negligible. And then we get about 90 degrees, but there's so much going on, it's a little bit hard to tell, but I would say that that is about 90 degrees. Still, considering the bulk, not too bad. And oh yeah, one cool thing, this does also move a little bit, and when it's pushed in, it will go out, kinda. So a little bit of extra maneuverability there. And these aren't going anywhere, they're pegged in there with 2 pegs, so they're not gonna move. I was actually hoping that these would be movable as like extra thrusters, but no such thing, unfortunately. The little flap here goes up and down. The feet are double jointed. We have a hinge at the top and then a ball joint at the bottom. Forwards by that far, backwards like that, side to side quite significantly. And we'll also rotate around all the way. And even a little bit of toe movement. Up and down a little bit. These parts are unfortunately solid. And I have to say, the Döven wolf, which is not exactly a mobile suit you would expect to have a lot of articulation, is actually a quite articulate mobile suit for what you're getting. It's of course not nearly as articulate as some of the other mobile suits out there, but still, gotta give it credit where credit is due. And then I almost forgot about these thrusters here at the back, which also move. And now, well, I would move on to accessories, but we still have one more piece of articulation to cover, which incidentally is also part of the accessories. What the manual wants you to do when you want to use those very cool beam cannons on the back is to first start off by removing the head, but I somehow feel kind of uncomfortable trying to remove this head with all those antennas going on. Fortunately, we can just pop this up. So this is on a hinge, and then the beam cannons themselves are on a ball joint. So this moves like that, and then we just tilt the head. I move this down so it kind of clamps it shut. We just move the head the other direction, and we fold, whoops, too far. We fold this down, And there we go. We just got 2 beam cannons ready to use without having to remove the head. And that is not all about these backpack things, because we've got more hidden goodies. We open this up to reveal some extra, so a lot of small missiles. And that's still not all. Oh yeah, 1 extra piece of articulation. These, well, things also go up and down. And there is 1 more weapon hidden away. For that, we're once again gonna have to go to the normal configuration. There we go. Put these away for the antennas, because we wouldn't want to break those. And it's a little bit fiddly to pull them out. And here we have the incomes. They are removable, but if you're gonna go by the manual, you actually cannot put them on anything. They're just there to be there. However, we do get 2 wires, and these are for use for his hand launcher things. But something the manual doesn't say is that there just happens to be a hole in here in which the wire just happens to fit. And that's not all, there just happens to be a hole there, and the wire just happens to fit again. Why they didn't bother pointing that out in the manual, I honestly have no idea, because let's be honest here, coincidences like this do not exist. So yeah, that's the thing. Now we just gotta pull this out and put that in. And I'm once again quite, I don't know, dumbfounded. Oh yeah, also a little bit of up and down movement. I don't know what to think about this, because it seems like kind of a marketing fail. The kit has a feature you didn't advertise. Way to go, guys. And so I was talking about the removable hands, so why not immediately do that? And believe it or not, but this is actually how you can distinguish between commando units and normal units, because we get 2 different connection things. So this is what you use if you're going to use a normal unit. Pull out. There we go. We put this in, and then we get this. That should go up here. Oh, gotta put that away. We put this in there. There we go. Then we've got this slides on there. And then this, we gotta put that away. Put this in there. So this is actually advertised on the manual. And then with the wire, we of course get the ability to do kind of a shock attack. Oh, I knew I had to use that for something. It goes on here. Silly me. Now we of course put the wire in there. Come on. Well, that's good enough. And then now, oh, come on. Are you actually telling me that the wire was easier to get into the income, which isn't supposed to use the wire, than it goes into the actual arm that's supposed to use it? Well, that's great, isn't it? So yeah, this can also do kind of an electric shock attack, like the... I forgot the name. Well, kind of like the Goof, and then Yazan's unit. Hambrabi, that's it, the Hambrabi. So kind of a similar attack feature. And then we of course have the hand beam gun that's in there. But then, what is the commander unit way of doing it? Well, we take out, whoops, just gotta pull that out, because the commander units have a wireless one. You know, they probably use the same thing our cell phones do, usually like 4G networks and all that kind of stuff. And then we get because of course it's a commander unit, they have to have something special. They get a claw, but not just any claw, a claw that can use the beam saber. Just put that in there. Unfortunately, no articulation on this claw hand whatsoever. So it's a little bit unfortunate if you want to do an intricate posing with the beam saber, but yeah. So we have the wireless, I don't know, 4G controlled or whatever function it uses, hand beam gun, and then we have the spindly claw thing using the beam saber. And it's actually quite good at holding the beam saber. Then, since we're talking about the beam sabers anyway, we get 2 master grade class beam sabers. And very nice yellow, we don't see that too often. Put that in there. And now, they're still quite good at holding it actually, but of course, if you nudge it a bit too much, it might fall down. But I gotta say, that is actually quite surprising, because I also put it in the normal hands. We get 2 normal holding hands. The other one is lost currently. Well, that's what you get with so many accessories hanging around. The irony is, the hand doesn't actually hold the beam saber nearly as good as the weird claw thing. Especially not when we put a beam in there, because it can hardly hold it as is. The good thing, of course, is, well, the beam saber is quite thick on both ends, so no matter how he's holding it, it's never gonna fall out. It can never go lower than this or that, so at least the design of the beam saber is somewhat favorable, and since it is a master grade, you can of course use various master grade beams. So if you want to use pink, well, go ahead. Then, oh yeah, I forgot about one more accessory that can also be mounted on these sticks. They're not just there for show, they can actually hold these 2 big anti-ship missiles. What you do is you just click them on there, and then they're ready to use. Just make sure they don't interfere with those very nice antennas. And then we're almost there. We're now just at the grand finale, the mega launcher / beam rifle. And don't be mistaken by judging it solely by its name. This baby is actually a lot more powerful than even the Zeta Gundam's Hyper Mega Launcher, which has a power output of about 8 megawatts. This has an output of 12 megawatts. About, I think it was probably like 12.2 and 8.2. And all kinds of things, but you get the general idea. Comes with a dedicated trigger finger. As always, it has a peg, and the peg is strong enough to hold the entire thing by itself. We also have a little stand here that folds out. Well, folds out, it just pegs in there, but you can just turn it like that. We also have flaps on the side which open up all the way like that, for a little bit of extra dramatic value, and other features which will be shown when we transform it. Well, it's not that much of a transformation, but hey, we also have a movable handle to, well, hold it in more elaborate poses, more like you would expect a mega launcher to be held, or you can hold it in more of a beam rifle pose. But that is still not the best thing you can do with this. What you probably want to do is get rid of the trigger finger hand entirely. Get it off entirely, and here we see the peg. Just fold it in, then extend it, push this in, the handlebar, and you can extend these 2 for the mobile suit to hold on to, and they connect to the mega particle cannons, and now we have a super powered mega launcher. This is actually one of the single most powerful weapons in the entire Gundam series, at a power rating of a whopping 40 megawatts. The only weapons I can think of from contemporary units are the Double Zeta Gundam's Hit Cannon and the S Gundam's Beam Smart Gun at full power, both of which are at around 50 megawatts. And even late Universal Century mobile suits have a hard time getting that power output. Like, the only weapon I can think of is the laundry pole that the V Dash uses. And then you can just put the hands in there. And this is an insanely powerful combination. The question, of course, is why? Well, you don't really need 40 megawatts in your average battle unless you're taking out an asteroid, a fortress, or the occasional falling colony, of course, with 8 megawatts being plenty strong enough to rip clean through a capital ship. But we cannot deny that this looks extremely badass. But the question is it the most badass thing we can do with it? The answer, of course, was a resounding no. You, sir, are now royally fucked. And to wrap up the accessories, one final thing about the Beam Sabers: they unfortunately do not store on the mobile suit. You might be able to see the knob there, the knob on his side skirt. Well, that's where the Beam Sabers should store, but of course it would be practically impossible to have them stored in there and then have a good way of trying to pull them out while still making it look aesthetically pleasing from both sides, or just not having them fall out all the goddamn time if you just want to take them out. So for once, I think we can all agree that it was a good thing that they didn't have that ability. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And at 2,200 yen, this is definitely one of the more expensive high rates out there. But when we compare him to similarly priced mobile suits, such as the Delta Plus, which is the exact same price, and yes, they are currently side by side, or the Starjagen, which is only 200 yen cheaper at 2,000 yen, this kit seriously now seems like a bargain. You are getting so much more bulk, so much more accessories, so much more play value, so much more anything for exactly the same price as this machine. And you might be thinking I'm doing it injustice, but the only accessories this kit currently isn't with is one beam saber, because he cannot hold it in his left hand, thank you very much, and a hump of useless plastic used only in the transformation. So seriously, this is one of the few cases where I'm going to say that the Döven Wolf actually seems too cheap. I mean, would I pay like 2,500 yen for this? Absolutely! No, seriously, this is the first time I'm gonna say this. This kit is too damn cheap. I mean, look at the difference with the Starjagen. Once again, these are almost all the accessories he comes with, excluding the one beam saber he comes with. Look at everything we're getting. No, actually, I'm not showing off everything, because we still get like extra hands. We got the extra parts for if you want to use the wires. It's mind-blowing. Sure, we're not getting the nice transparent extra detailed decals with numbers and shit, but we don't really seem to get those with any of the sleeves unit, only with Federation mobile suits and Xeon mobile suits currently. But yeah, like I said, for this price tag, I am absolutely willing to forgive that. There are really almost no issues I have with this model kit. Only pros: we get a lot of play value. It's bulky, it's still very articulate, you can pull off a lot of poses with this. Play value is absolutely through the fucking roof. And oh yeah, one thing I haven't mentioned, there is a hole in his butt to stick him to a small action base. Seriously, there is so much going on with this mobile suit. I can absolutely recommend this mobile suit to anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a particular fan of this machine. This is just a fantastic model kit. It's a fantastic mobile suit, but this model kit makes it even more fantastic. And seriously, I could go on all day talking about how much I fucking love this. Especially for that price. Which still seems way too low to me, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. Maybe next time they'll make it more expensive. But yeah, 2,200 yen, you can either buy this, well, mini thing, even though the Delta Plus is a pretty big mobile suit, or this giant machine. I mean, seriously, this is even better than those early master grades. And I'm just gonna stop saying how much I love this. Like I said, I could say that all day. A few other comparisons. Here he is compared to the main competitor of the time, the Zaku 3. And I said that the Zaku 3 was a bulky mobile suit. Well, it ain't got shit on the Döven Wolf. Well, it's a wolf and it ate up the competition. Even though apparently in the series, the Zaku 3s were able to outperform the Döven Wolf. Well, I guess it's not just the amount of weapons that counts. And finally, a comparison shot with the Gym 3 and the Unicorn. I kind of feel sad that they had to go up against monsters like the Döven Wolf. And this is a mass production mobile suit, keep that in mind. Yes, it's a little bit on the limited side, but a mass produced mobile suit nonetheless. And still these guys lost. Well, I guess there was a bit too much infighting going on at the time. So yeah, that is really all for this review of the first time ever, and probably also the last time I'm gonna say that this model is, well, that the price tag is too cheap for all the fantastic stuffs we're getting. And so much play value, so much things to do with this, so much poses to pull off. And well, that's pretty much all for this time, and see you guys next time. Actually, no, I gotta do one more comparison shot to show you guys how absolutely massive this is. On the left side, we have the master grade. On the right side, we have the high grade. Just look at the size differences. And this time for real, see you guys next time.